All right, we got to get some more insight. So we go to C.J. Holmes, beat writer for the Warriors for the San Francisco Chronicle. And I don't know about you, but I can live with 25, 10, and 6 as a line for Jokic, so long as you keep him off the line. Only a couple of times in the charity stripe last night.
Yeah, definitely not bad. And you mentioned his 25 points. Well, it took him 25 shots to get there. So if you're the Warriors, you got to see that as an absolute win. They did a great job keeping him off the line. I think he averages around like 6.8 free throw attempts per game. He shoots them at an 81% clip. And, that's where he gets a lot of his points because he's tough to guard. But the Warriors did a great job last night guarding Jokic without fouling. And, do it for 3 more games this series, and they should be in good shape.
Bear with me for a moment. I want to make sure I get this right. Okay, I'm going to do Mike Malone right now as he looks at film before he goes onto the court. Okay, so here's my impression of Mike Malone. What am I going to do with this 3-guard attack? Do I have that right?
Something like that. It was a handful. I mean, what was that? 18-6 run to end that second quarter, and once the Warriors are able to get clicking offensively, Denver never recovered. Like we said, that group, they're devastating out there on the court together. The biggest issue with that group, I think, heading in was kind of, how would they be defensively? And they kind of struggled defensively later in the second half when Kerr went back to the 3-guard lineup. But overall, explosive offense, easy offense, as long as they can guard, then, that group should be in good shape, and the Warriors are going to go to it often.
Jordan Poole, did you see that coming?
Honestly, heading into this series, my biggest question is, as good as Jordan was in the absence of Stephen Curry, over the stretch run of the regular season, will a young player like him, 22 years old, essentially playing in his first playoff series? Steve Kerr, likes to count last year's playing games, but would he be able to handle the pressure of that? And I think he answered that in a really, really big way yesterday. I mean, 30 points, no Warrior has scored more points in a playoff debut other than Wilt Chamberlain. What Jordan Poole's doing right now is fantastic. I think a star was truly born last night. And if this is the kind of production they're going to be getting out of him throughout the playoffs, then the Warriors just get that much more scarier as a team.
I don't know if Kerr addressed it today, but this is the old saying, if it ain't broke, why fix it?
Are you going to give Steve Kerr a hard time about the starting lineup now?
No comment.
It was funny. Last night in the post game, Coach Kerr was asked, at this point, how can you keep Jordan out of the starting lineup? And he kind of chuckled a little bit, little bit of a smile, and he said, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Looking forward to this series, future series. The biggest thing is they're kind of small out there when you go 3-guard. So again, that 3-guard lineup is going to have to prove that they can defend at a high level if that's something Kerr is going to feel comfortable going forward.
About the atmosphere of last night, okay, first playoff game in that building ever. What was it like? Because TV just does not do it justice.
I've never been to Oracle Arena, but last night's environment inside Chase Center was fantastic. It was the first playoff game, played in that building, because of the pandemic and, the fact that they didn't make the playoffs last year. This is something that fans have been hungry for, and they came out in full force. It was loud in there. You could tell that the Warriors are really feeding off the energy of that crowd. And, if that's what it's going to be like, for the remainder of their playoff run this year, then, the Warriors will have one of the best home court advantages in, all of the NBA.
What is your expectation for tomorrow night?
I think Steve Kerr and his team expect a lot more fight out of the Nuggets tomorrow. Whenever you got a reigning MVP on your team, all bets are off. And, just because you were able to manage him one game, that doesn't dictate the rest of this series. In order for the Warriors to be successful tomorrow night and go up 2-0 in this series, the defensive intensity is going to have to remain consistent. Of course, they're going to have to make shots, but it's the defensive end of the floor that's going to win this series for the Warriors. So they're definitely going to have to be locked into that end because Denver's going to bring their best.
You see, viewers need to read this man, C.J. Holmes. He's played the game. He's fought through screens. He's had the suicides. He's been through the SEC with the Auburn Tigers. This is a man that knows. Hey, C.J., thanks so much for a few minutes, and we'll see you in the building.
Hey, thanks for having me, and see you tomorrow night.